Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Michigan International Raceway as we're getting set for the running of the Cabela's 250, race number 8 of the debut season of the NR 2003 Diva Busch Series. Getting set to go racing for 30 laps here today. It's been a long time since we've seen our Diva Busch Series gals. They were last time out 3 weeks ago at Richmond, which Darlene Ward went to victory lane, making it 7 races and 7 different winners. Who will be our 8th different winner? We're going to have to find that out for yourself. Elena Lydia starts on the pole position for today's race. Of course, she took part in yesterday's Diva Truck Series event, but she comes in this race 37th in the points after the struggling start to her season in that DEI number 81 machine. Alongside of her is Lila Bakai. On the flip side, Lila Bakai lost the points lead last time out at Richmond 3 weeks ago. She comes in this race second in points, trailing Balam Kim by 47 points. Aaron Walsh in row number 2. Walsh comes into this race 29th in the point standings, and Caitlin Roy alongside of her. Caitlin Roy comes into today's race. Let's see where Caitlin Roy is. She is 7th in the standings, and Elizabeth Gardner completes the top 5. The points coming in this race, as I said earlier, Balam Kim has a 47-point lead over Lila Bakai. Darlene Ward, who I mentioned, our winner last time out at Richmond 3 weeks ago. She's third in the standings, 59 back. Natalie Fisher is 4th in the standings, 84 back. 90 back is April Winters, who is 5th place. Let's get these cars rolling up behind the pace car. Annie James gained 5 spots to 6th in the standings. Caitlin Roy, I mentioned, starting 4th, starts 4th. She is 7th in the point standings. Calipin Bergia is 10th, gained 10 spots up to 8th in the standings. Chow Ding dropped 4 spots down to 9th in the standings, and Angela Thornburg had a tough race, 10th in the standings. Let me show you the rest of the starting grid. There they are. Carolina Bradley didn't have a good qualifying, and of course she was involved in our controversy incident that happened under the yellow flag in yesterday's Diva Truck Series event, which Addison Peterson has been given a warning and a probation for that incident that took out a lot of good trucks who really should have not been involved, because it took out a 4th of our field in yesterday's Truck Series race, which, by the way, was won by Emma Kaiser. Not to take anything away from Kaiser. Cloudy conditions set over Michigan International Raceway. As I said, this is a 2-mile D-shaped track, similar to the track we're going to be going to later in the season of our second half. That would be Auto Club Speedway. But here we go. The Cabela's 250 is underway. Let's go racing, ladies. And if you also have noticed, on the infield grass, I updated the logo to the NASCAR Winston Cup logo. I've done that for all of the tracks on the in the NR on my game since yesterday's Diva Truck Series. So that way you guys are happy about it instead of the NASCAR Racing Cup Series. Yep, there it is. You see the NASCAR Winston Cup Series logo. That was the logo that got replaced in the grass. Lydia leads the first lap of the race. All 42 drivers took the green flag. Let's find out where our winner from yesterday, Emma Kaiser, there she is, running a 9th behind Shayla Askaroff, excuse me. Emma Kaiser trying to make lightning strike twice and hopes to sweep this weekend. Of course, she's not running in the Diva Cup Series tomorrow. Kaiser comes into this race 28th in the point standings. Hopefully, her win yesterday can boost her confidence going into today's Diva Busch Series race. Of course, Elena Lydia took part in yesterday's Diva Truck Series event. There's Caitlin Roy, Leela Bakai. April Winters, of course, her sister Alex had a tough race yesterday in the Diva Truck Series. There's Jayla Durazin, who DNF'd our truck race yesterday, trying to bounce back here today. Wow, it's already 7-6. I'm watching a football game on my TV in my room as of this recording. Alex Kemp, the referee. Oh, Josh Allen got a taunting call as of this recording. Hopefully Josh Allen doesn't get disqualified. That would be a big loss for the Bills as of this recording. That's the game I'm, by the way, watching as of this recording. Caitlin Roy there in the 92. There's Leela Bakai. Where's the gal that she's trying to run down for the points lead? All the way back in 31st. Not a good run for Balam Kim. There's Jayla Durazin and Elena Lydia just pulling away. Check the back of the field here. Eva Mata's back here. Of course, Mata didn't have a good race in the truck series yesterday. Mackenzie Servino. And our points leader's all the way back to 40th. Selena Diaz, who had a terrible race last time out at Richmond 3 weeks ago, back here at the rear of the field. Carolina Bradley, who had a terrible race in the truck series yesterday after getting caught up in a massive wreck. She's back here at the rear of the field. She was running well in points coming into this race. This is not good for her. Alexandria Sarnes back here at the rear of the field. Anna McDowell, Darlene Ward, last time out's winner. Comes in this race third in the point standings. This is not the run she wanted. Same with Natalie Fisher. So a couple of gals running well in points going to really take some hits in the standings. As Becky Sampson has caught the Oreo Chevrolet of Elena Lydia. So it looks like Leela Bakai is running in 15th right now. Would end up taking the points lead heading into next week's race at Indianapolis. You'll see it over here to the right, to the Scumboard Kaiser. There you saw the NASCAR Winston Cup logo, because like I said, I downloaded it and put it into the game, so that way I've done it for all of the tracks. You've seen the signage up there, so I basically have already done that for all of the tracks, all of the default tracks on this game. So there you go. Emma Kaiser would like to go 2 for 2 in the Michigan weekend. Of course, she will. I believe she will be in the Diva Cup Series next season, along with Tatiana Guerra and Alexandria Sarnes. I think it's Sarnes or Sarnes. I'll have to ask Frank how it's pronounced. I think it's Sarnes. If I've been mispronouncing it, I do apologize, Frank, if you're watching this video. But to be fair, like I said, I'm learning a lot of these gals that I'm not used to. Kaiser just had the lead, but Durazin's going to take the lead. Charlotte Lopez having a good run here today. And this is quite the opposite of the Truck Series race we had here yesterday, where around this time we were under the yellow and it tore up a lot of good trucks. So far, we're about to approach the halfway mark of this race, and we have yet to have a caution. Askarov, speaking of Tatiana Guerra, here she comes, working her way to the front. Tatiana Guerra comes into this race 24th in the point standings, so she's been slowly but surely working her way through the points table in the last couple of races for Naguera. And Angela Thornburg, who took a big hit in the points after last time out's race at Richmond, is currently our race leaders. We're at the halfway point of today's Cabela's 250. Naguera right up there, battling 3 wide with Kaiser, and that's Annie James on the inside. Thornburg comes into this race 10th in the points, dropped 6 spots in the standings after a poor result last time out at Richmond 3 weeks ago. Isabel Gordon in second. There's April Winters, 5th in the point standings coming into this race. The good news is April Winters is ahead of a lot of gals that she's trying to run down for the points lead. Lila Bakai back in 23rd, well 24th last time. That was your points leader. Second in points rather. Balam Kim, 38th, was your points leader coming this race. So like I said, a couple of drivers came in this race running very well in the points. Not going to be happy with this. Not going to be happy with their performance today. And Michigan will play its part in shaking up the points heading into next week at Indianapolis. And for any of you that are curious, Indianapolis will be all 3 series, but will be at 2 different tracks. Of course, Diva Trucks and Diva Busch series will be on the short track at IRP. Diva Cup series will be across town for the Brickyard 400. So Diva Trucks and Busch will be under the lights. That will be a 7:30 Eastern time. And then the Brickyard 400 will be a 2 p.m. Eastern time. Hope you will join us for that next weekend. course, tomorrow we got to finish up our race weekend from Michigan with the Diva Cup Series race here in the Sirius 400, the Sirius Satellite Radio 400, before we head off to Indianapolis next week. Which I also should mention, after this race, we only have 2 more races left to go until All-Star Race Weekend. I should also want to point that out in the Diva Cup Series. Let me make sure. Yeah, this will be their 10th race. Or, no, wait. Yeah, I was correct. 10th race of the season. After this, they have 2 more races until All-Star Race Weekend. I may actually put a race right before All-Star Race Weekend for Diva Cup Series. Because the last race before the All-Star Race will be at Minnesota. Because the following week after we go to Indianapolis next week, we go to the Dover National Raceway, the 1 mile concrete track. And then we're going to go to our first road course race of the season for the Diva Cup Series, which will be their only race that weekend because Diva Trucks and Diva Trucks and Diva Busch Series will be off next week and the following week, because the following week is All-Star Race Weekend. There's Olga Scott. Much better race for her compared to yesterday's truck race. Lena Lydia, this is a well-needed run from her. Prue Granger, who had a DNF last time out. Caleb Ambrosia, nice bounce back from a disappointing truck race here yesterday. Which reminds me, we have not had a caution in this race. So I guess these drivers learn to be patient with one another. So we've had 2 cautions in our truck race. And we've had a common clean Busch race here today. Wonder what kind of scenario we're going to have for tomorrow's Diva Cup Series race here at this track. We're going to have to wait and see. We have 5 laps of racing to go. And it doesn't look like Kaiser's going to win this race and sweep, but hey, at least she has a win. Askarov having a well-needed run. Askarov came in this race 33rd in the point standing, so this is a well-needed run for her. Elena Lydia, a couple of gals that are struggling in the points table. This is well-needed runs for them. Carolina Bradley, 2 days in a row. She's having a not so good result. But unlike our truck race yesterday, she is going to end up with a poor finish, but at least she's still on the lead lap, unlike the truck race yesterday. Down to 2 laps to go next time by. Darby King not having a good run either. 2 to go. Lydia goes to second. Hanaka Watanabe up here in the top 10. White flags in the air. 1 more lap to go. And here comes Lydia. Looking underneath the Outdoor Channel Chevrolet. Just couldn't get the car to can't get the bite, and looks like that's going to be all she wrote. Yep, going to be all she wrote there. Second win of the year for Angela Thornburg, 10th in the points, and she's going to win the Cabela's 250 here today at Michigan. Second win of her career in the Diva Busch Series. Second win of the year for Angela Thornburg. This will keep her in the top 10 of the points leaving today. Standings are indeed official. Angela Thornburg will get the win. Elena Lydia in second. Jayla Duraz in third. Prue Granger, good run for her in fourth. We mentioned Jayla Durazin, who came into this race. Prue Granger, 23rd in the points. Good run for her. Durazin, 32nd in points. Good run for her. Lydia, I mentioned, 37th. So, like I said, a couple of gals struggling in the points table. Good runs for them. Isabel Gordon, great run for her. Dropped 4 spots to 19th in the point standings. That will definitely help her move her way up. Shalea Askarov, well-needed run for the Kyrgyzstan driver. Came in this race struggling in the points table. 33rd to be exact, so she will get 6. So that's a well-needed run from her. Calip Ambrosia will get 7th, so not too bad for Calip Ambrosia. She'll stay in the top 10 of the points. She's been on going up through the points table the last couple of weeks. Charlotte Lopez gets 8th. Lopez came into this race 20th in the points. This will help her through the standings. Erin Walsh comes away with 9th. 29th in the points will move her way up. And Claudia Flores, well-needed run from her. Came in this race 40th in the points. A top 10 for her. Hanako Watanabe, Olga Scott, Elizabeth Garner, Emma Kaiser, and Megan Knight, the top 15. Good run for Kaiser, our winner from yesterday in the Truck Series. And Alexandria Sarnes or Sarnes, Joanna Berg, Caitlin Roy, Ada Chua, Natalie Fisher, and Annie James, the top 20. Look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. I see some big names down here at the bottom who didn't have a very good run today. Balam Kim, 38th, came this race as your points leader. Leela Bakai, 29th, came this race second in points. They're going to take a hit. Darlene Ward finished 23rd, came this race third in the points. And we talked about Natalie Fisher, who finished. Let me see where Natalie Fisher can finish this race. Where did that 37? She finished in 20th. Darby King finished last. Carolina Bradley, two days in a row, she had a terrible run, but the good news is she finished on the lead lap, unlike our Truck Series event. But I can tell you the points are really going to get shaken up after a number of drivers who came in running well in points going to take some hits. And a lot of desperate drivers who were struggling in the points table got some good runs. So the points are really going to get shaken up heading into next week at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We finish up our weekend with the Diva Cup Series from here at Michigan, the Sirius 400. and that should be a fun one. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the PCS Race Crew today. We showed your full finish results, and you will see your points in the pre-race show next week at Indianapolis. Until then, I've been Divas signing off. Goodbye from Michigan. We'll see you tomorrow for the Cup Series. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of PCS Race TV, the best in racing around the world since 2017.